Hey, what is up, everyone? It's Rich. All right, welcome to the morning video. And God, I feel like we're together all the time now. All right, so this is Carlos Meglia, Superman Infinity City. Infinite City, sorry. I actually thought this was the Tarzan book. It's okay though. This was in my office. I had been planning to do Carlos Meglia for a while. He's a fantastic comic book illustrator, and unfortunately, he did pass away a few years ago. This dude is awesome though, and it's absolutely incredible. Not only his use of perspective, how small he can draw, how dynamic his work is. He's really, really amazing. And for people who are into Meglia, this is going to be a lot of fun. And for people that don't know Carlos's work, I think you're going to be blown away. This guy was really, really amazing. So let's do it. And I actually have quite a bit of his work. So going back to Cyber 6, the first time I actually saw his work was I shared an office with J. Scott Campbell and Tom Ranney. And Tom Ranney had a bookshelf full of all kinds of stuff. And he had gone to the Kubert School and just had like lots of really interesting photocopies and stuff like that. And in one of his binders, he had this black and white story, and it just burned into my like memory. I just was like, man, what is this stuff? It was so awesome. And it was Meglia's work on Cyber 6, but there was no way for me to tell what it was. So for a while, it took me a while to figure it out. And then I started picking up the books at like Comic-Con. They were hard to find though at the time. I mean, now, obviously you could hop on eBay or something like that, or go to something like maybe Stewart NG. But wait do you see this. You don't even have to be a Superman fan to dig what's going to go on in this book. I guarantee this dude never disappoints. He's so freaking good. He was highly, highly influential to like Umberto Ramos. You'll see when you start looking at his work, you'll go, oh man, I've seen some of this stuff before. Now you're gonna know where the source is. Although I'm sure Meglia had his own set of influences, but man, look at that. He's so freaking good. These pages are hard to turn. I hate books like this. That's why as much as I sort of don't like doing the digital, it is a lot easier than doing these books, and I can zoom in and scoot the page around digitally much easier. He did a book for Wildstorm called Monster Hunter, maybe something like that, and he may have even done some fill-ins of other stuff. Baby's face is funny, but yeah. It's absolutely insane how small this guy could draw. That was the one thing that I always would trip out on, especially like the Superman Tarzan book in particular that he did. It was just nuts how tiny he would draw figures. This is interesting. I didn't realize that he used so much wash on this. And well, in fact, I mean, I did think this was Superman Tarzan sitting on the shelf. I hadn't looked at it that closely. But yeah, and then we'll hop on probably Joe Benitez tonight. I'm actually transferring tons of files right now from my external hard drive, which is why I'm actually shooting a traditional video through the book. My external hard drives are just all packed. Honestly, like I've said this before, I probably have like 20 terabytes worth of backup storage. But all of them are like almost full right now. And then my computer's got a pretty huge hard drive. But I need to. What in the world are you doing? Can you settle down? I'm trying to shoot a YouTube video. My cat is like standing on my chair and dancing. I don't know what it's doing. It's being all crazy. They love YouTube. I'm telling you, man. What are you doing? Stop, you freak. Yeah. So I pulled off almost 300 gigs worth of inking videos that I shot. This is just on one external hard drive, and there's more too. God damn it! Stop, fucking A, get down. The next step is she was gonna fall and like scratch me, like trying to catch herself. Yeah. So Patreon, hang tight because today I'm gonna edit together a whole bunch of stuff. It'll be a steady stream of stuff. But yeah. And that way I can delete those videos after I upload them to YouTube. But it's interesting looking through because I always had said that I was recording a ton of shit. But sometimes look at this spread, it's so awesome. I'd been telling people that I record a ton of stuff, but sometimes I can't show it right away when I'm working on it. And then on top of it, sometimes the videos need to be edited. So I'm going to narrate them. So they'll all have audio, like new audio commentary on them. It should be fun. I saw a bunch of Finch stuff. I know I have a ton of John Romita Jr. and some Jim Lee too. So it'll be kind of random what I go through though, but we'll see. Yeah, look at this. This is a nice shot. Yeah, hopefully everyone's hanging in there. I know I say that on every video, but yeah, I knew that people were going to be stressed out and kind of like maybe feeling down in the dumps or just like sort of like a rat in a trap. And I was like, what could I do as a YouTuber? I was like, I know what I could do. I could bring some fun into people's lives. Look at that. That is crazy. So that's what I aims to do. Probably next week I'm going to scoot it down to one video a day though. Because it's like my day is flying by. Like the next thing I know, it'll be 4 o'clock, and I'll be like, shit, got stuff to do. Because I want to be working on Blaster Kid more. Honestly, that's kind of the main reason. So you'll get less videos, but you'll have more Blaster Kid. Oh my gosh! See, this is what I'm talking about. He starts to draw so small. Who does this? Look how tiny that is in the page. There was this book that I bought, a Japanese artist that kind of drew like this. It's pretty cool. I'll do a book review of it. I don't even know the artist. It was such a random purchase. I just was at a comic book store and I saw it and it looked cool and I picked it up. But yeah, God, this is like almost like a cartoon. Look at that. I love that some of it is almost like cell shaded animation, and then some of it has got a way more almost like a 3D effect. Like it's more painted. It looks just more. It's a pretty cool combination. Look at that. See. That's awesome. It's hard to believe that comic books in the United States were actually even produced that look like this from a company. You know, you just don't see this very often, honestly. And this was probably 10 or 15 years ago, but I mean, it's just one of those things I can never understand why not. I know that there's not. Meglia is a very special artist, but still, it's like, come on, man. Do we need all the same shit all the time? Have some variety. I mean, because that, to me, that's what's so interesting about comics is you could have someone like this, and then someone that does something that's really simple, and someone just super crazy, and it's kinetic and wild, and you know, if they can tell a story, put their asses on books, and the stuff looks cool. But you have to, I mean, you can see by the amount of material that I share, like how varied my taste is. It was interesting is saying that because it's like you kind of think of the editors as sort of like the first line of defense. They approached me in like 97 and they or someone, I don't remember the whole thing, but at one point they were like, have you ever considered being an editor? This was at Wildstorm, that wasn't when DC was doing it, and I was like, fuck that. But I got kind of why they maybe saw me as someone like that is you have to have a vision of some sort, and you have to, I think, I don't know, like there's just a like when you have a great editor, that's a very special person. You could see like how when Mignola hooked up with like Scott Alley, he just stuck with that guy. Mark Chiarello was someone like that, where they're just phenomenal editors, and as an artist you need that trust, and you need someone that is willing to have an open mind but also can be a disciplinarian, and you know what I mean. It's like it's a really important job. I've actually worked most of my editors at DC have been fantastic too. I can't, when I say that, it's not that some haven't been, but what I meant was just some are exceptional and some are just very good, or get the job done. So But yeah, generally speaking, it's a very important job to maintain artists. Look at that. That's so cool. But yeah, I think, you know, it's in a company's best benefit to have a lot of variety. You know, and you feel it out. You see what the fan base is, and then try to nurture that. It's a team effort, or not. You just self publish. Shut it down, donkey. That's cool lighting on them. See, this is what I'm saying. Is look at these small figures. That's really cool too. Little tiny figures. Look at that. That's so small. Okay, look at the page. And then check this out. How tiny the figures are. To do a full page like that is so unique. They're great little. Sorry, I'm trying to focus on it. I'm only 33 pages into this little bad boy. Oh, that's really nice. At times I was getting a little Mobius feel before, but it's funny now seeing this girl because it really kind of reminds me a lot of the Mobius stuff. But there was something that I saw a couple of pages in that I was like, that kind of looks like Mobius. I didn't say anything though. His Cyber Six stuff is black and white, and they're kind of like the Akira foam books. They're not that big, but it's that kind of thing. And I want to say that there's actually 6 of them. I could be wrong on that, but there's a few. But yeah, like Google it and check it out because it's pretty cool, and it's neat to see in black and white. God, that's a great pose. Some of this has a little bit of like a 3D model vibe to me, like I don't know why. They feel set up, but this would have been, like I said, I'm gonna guess 2005 ish, 2008, something like that. So it's possible, but it would have probably been like Cat or something like that. I know Dustin Wynn, when we were doing Wildcats, was using some 3D models for some of his backgrounds and buildings. Like there was a scene inside of like an industrial facility, and that Dustin used like little models to help him draw like the gears and stuff like that. But I mean, Meglia could definitely draw this stuff on his own. I don't think that is some of the more backgroundy backgrounds feel like that. Like this stuff looks all drawn. It's a cool little robot. He's really cool, actually. Look at how small this shit is. It's like a Travis panel in the background. That's the crazy shit Travis would do. And he redrew it. This is not a stat. It's different. Man, that's crazy. Yeah, that's 2 different backgrounds. That's wild. Because they're similar, but as they're walking down, like it's changed. He changes the shot, but man, that's like very cool. And then even these have nutty backgrounds. This is cool. The soft focus on the background is kind of neat. Like her feet. That's really cool. Oh, this is so cool. I'm glad we did this. Like I said, he was on my mind a couple of days ago, and then Hunter mentioned in the comments section of the Silvestri video he wanted to see some Meglia. I was like, I'm right there with you, dude. Look at Soup's there. He's all chill. So I'm going to have some kryptonite tea. Yeah, see, the coloring, too, makes it feel a little 3D-ish. The robots reminding me of, I think, Ratchet and Clank or Jack and Daxter for some reason. Those games were so fun. Oh my god, I love that shit. Crash Bandicoot, and then you had Jack and Daxter. Yeah, Jack and Daxter, and then sorry, let me finish this page. Man, that is so sick. Yeah, those games were awesome. I think I liked Ratchet and Clank the best. They all had their moments, though. Crash Bandicoot was fun as shit, man. That's a little different because that's like a totally different vibe than those other games. But it's funny because for some people, those were probably games that you were playing as like a little kid. Oh man, last night I watched The Food made me think of it. I watched The Platform on Netflix. See, this is like a photo or something. It's a clever use of it though. It actually looks nice. Like it doesn't bug me too much. If all the backgrounds were like that, I might subtract points of just my own sort of prejudices. But yeah, the platform was interesting. It was pretty cool. I won't have any spoilers, but yeah, if you have Netflix, I would check it out. The premise is really really cool, and then you can judge the payoff and the execution of it, you know, on your own. But it was like I started it and it was almost too dark. The first night I started it, I watched like 20 minutes and I was like, I'm kind of not in the mood for this. I need something lighter. But last night I sucked it up, went through the whole thing. We'll kind of hustle through some of these. Getting into the deep water. Yo, look at that. Man. Look at how small this shit is. It's like, here, let me show you the whole page so you can get an idea of. But like this panel right here, these figures are so tiny. The designs are great. Like he's got a very, very cool streamlined like costuming effect that he did for things. This is nice. I would think Sean Galloway, Cheeks, is probably a fan of this guy's stuff. I could see some parallels. Maybe Scotty Young. Maybe. I mean, I'm sure they all would like it. Just, you know, that's kind of a given. But yeah, I could see maybe it being a little bit of an inspiration. It was a very, very fun time, man. When DeviantArt really started to pick up, man, there was some cool shit going on. And this was like there was Celia Kaye and who else would have been at this moment? Well, I mean, honestly, Sean Galloway and his girlfriend at the time, Anamaya or something was her name. She was really freaking good. Claire Wendling was bubbling up, like for Americans at least. Was like monster drawing ability coupled with like a very cartoony delivery. It was kind of the Shane Glines drawing board era. That was fun time, and it was cool too because I've said this before with especially in particular the Shane Glines drawing board, Deviant Art at first, and then it got where there was this weird division between pros and like aspiring artists, which I didn't like. I went there to actually just be part of the community, but Shane Glines drawing board really was it was like there was really really good professionals like Shane Glines and you know people that were definitely pro animators or working in cartoons or whatever film and then fans and everybody kind of played nicely together and it really did feel like a community. It's a shame that board is gone because honestly that was probably one of the best experiences that I had in terms of a place where you could look at art, share art, and also had educational content because they would do all these like drawing challenges and fun stuff like that. Pencil Jack, I think I've never really been part of that community, but I think Pencil Jack in its prime was pretty cool. If there's anything like that online now, let me know because I would be very, very curious to see If is there a hub where people share their art and do challenges and stuff like that? That's fun shit. You'll have a lot of memories, and it's fun to see where people end up 10, 15 years after the fact. You know, I remember not only Sean Galloway kind of just getting going, but Cameron Stewart at that point was literally just like learning to draw on the Shangline drawings board. I mean, he probably had been drawing for a little bit, but Cameron Stewart's like a pretty honored comic book artist now. So, but you know, you're talking 20 years later. That's cool. Kind of hustling through these. These pages are nice, but let's get to the money shots. Money. I want money. Of course, the pages are getting harder and harder to turn. Oh man, this is a nice page. Love the colors on this page. We'll soak in the whole thing real quick. Sorry for the glare. It's really nice. It's got a little bit of a Bernie Fuchs sort of thing going on in the background. The way that it's that painterly sort of filter that they put on it. Sorry, my elbow is squeaking on the page. I'm trying to like keep a firm grip on the phone and also on the book. Cool shoes, cool legs too. And again, he's another guy that you can really see. He's able to plant his figures very, very solidly on things when he places them. You don't want stuff looking like it's floating, so you want the figures and stuff like that to sort of react to the weight that they're placing down. Like if they're leaning against something or standing on something, you don't want them looking like they're sort of lifting. Or this is a nice place. God, he's crazy with the backgrounds. This dude was so committed to his vision. It's funny. It reminds me a little bit of Emperor's New Groove there. That's cool. His mouth. So this is nice. It's a nice change of pace for people that are into more cartoony work and stuff like that. Because I know sometimes I'll lean more towards sort of the illustrative comic booky stuff. So then you've got something that's a little more stylized. Looks like Dr. Robotnik. That's cool. Oh man, that's nice. And again, teeny figures. God, they're so small. They're so small they almost don't reproduce in the comic. Like, look at that. That's super tiny too. And that. It is funny because that is my memory of the Tarzan book, Superman Tarzan, was that I was like, man, this guy draws small stuff. Definitely have to pull that out. Oh man, that is so cool. Yeah, it's funny. There's a lot of like, what, Kitty? You see it too? Yeah, it reminds me, like, I'm a big Disney animated movie fan, mainly for the art, but the stories sometimes are good. The music, the jams sometimes are catchy. But yeah, it's funny. There's all these like little things that remind me of some of the Disney movies. The way that he cartoons like that, I don't know, it just has like the hyenas and Lion King or something. I know, Kitty. It's awesome. You like the Lion King also? Is that what you were saying? Or you hate that movie? You hate the live action version, right? That's cool. That's an interesting storytelling thing where you put the panel like that, but it's in the shot. Her hair is wild. Man, this is so cool. That's a nice lit panel too. God, the colors are great. Oh yes, here it comes. Look at that. That's definitely Photoshop. Like they placed actual real like Jaguar spots or whatever, leopard spots on that thing, but it's actually a really, really cool effect. Ryan Benjamin would get pretty clever with that stuff when he was working on game assets at Wildstorm. They were working on the DC MMO, and he was doing a lot of character stuff. And man, he would take like skin and weird stuff and sort of pepper it in, and you take the liquefy tool to sort of move it around and get it sort of fitting the form. Because that's the thing, is if you're going to use any kind of like overlay background, you have to make sure that it's laying on form. You can't put flat texture onto three-dimensional form. It just looks weird. So you want to make sure that it's in perspective. Like, you can't put a rock texture on rock and just let it go. It's gotta be going the right directions on the form, because these rocks are sort of round and square. So man, that really looks cool, though. It's an early application of the technique, which probably at the time actually was very, very cutting edge, but I'm sure that there were colorists that could see what was going on. But yeah, it looks great. That's cool. I like he's green. Look at that. Thing is blasting him. That's a really cool shot too. I like the stars. Yep, this is a fun book. It was a nice change of pace. It really was. Look at this. This stuff is so tiny right in here. Again, it's like, it's so small you almost can't see it in the comic book. This video actually will make it more seeable. And look at this. This is super nuts. Look how small the details on that. I'm going to show you what I mean. So like, here's the page. And it's a hardcover, like whatever, hardcover comic book, but it's about the size of a comic. It almost feels a tiny bit smaller, weirdly enough. But like, look how small those figures are just on this page. But then this is where it gets super nuts. That's a great, great panel too, by the way. By the by. But this shit, what in the world? That's nuts. Meglia, you were crazy. God, look at these little things. They're so cool looking, but they're creepy. But man, look at this. Man. They could be cloned. I mean, he could have like one version of it, and it could be a lot of copy and paste. Still looks very badass, though. I mean, I would, if I stopped the video and really like compared them, I could tell right away. But I'm not gonna do it for the video. But there is a chance that some of these are just cloned. Cloning. Boning. It's nice. What's he saying? No. No. Oh, here we go. Double page spread. Yeah, I love this effect. That is really cool. It's neat too because he's sort of reptilian, but then he's got the characteristics of a furred animal or hair. Is it hair or fur on cats? Fur. Some animals have hair. Or so I've been told. Oh my god. That little tiny Superman there. Yeah, Kitty, you see it too? Uh-oh, she's come up in the chair. That's not good for me. Okay, do not follow me like yesterday. That sucked. Boom. Look at Soups. He's like, Superman out, and I'm taking the lady. Holy shit. What is going on? Man, this is crazy. This was a very, very cutting edge comic book for this time. I have to say that all the mixed media stuff that they're doing is actually, it's interesting to see, and it's fairly well executed for the time. I'm going to check the date. Like I said, my guess is it was between 2005 and 2008. We'll see if I'm right or if I suck. I'm curious to see who the colorist is too. So we'll get all that shit at the end. That's nice. Like I said, if you're a patron, hang tight, because I'm going to edit a video right after I do this, then I got to get to work. And then, yeah, Monday we'll go back to one video a day, unless the world completely falls on its keister. If shit gets super crazy, I'll continue to do 2 videos for people, but if it starts to mellow, which it probably won't yet, but I mean, you make it think. Yeah, it totally looks like the lady that's like, Cusco. It's like, what? Oh, look at Superman. He's got a special lady. Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. His neck is huge. That's nice. Look at this. That's a cool panel. Yeah, man, that's nice. Here, shake my hand. No problem, bro. Let's go. Well, that was fun. But it's good to be back. He's like, oh yeah, let's go. Oh man, that's cool. Damn. It rips the door off the thing. Then we've got this diner. And the closing pages. Oh, Rembrandt. I think it's a Rembrandt painting. I mean, it's like supposed to be Rembrandt-ish. Self-portrait, right? He's got the drunk guy nose. Very, very popular in comics. All right, so Mike Kennedy wrote this. Carlos Meglia drew it. And let's go to the front here. See what we got going on. Oh, what we got going on. If I can turn the pages. Let me pause this for a second. So Meglia did all the art, and it was 2005. So I fucking rule, and Meglia rules. All right, I'll talk to you all later. Have a great day. And damn, I had no idea that he colored all this stuff too. Dude was on fire. All right, have a great day. And this was Superman, Infinite City by Carlos Meglia and Mike Kennedy. Very, very cool. All right, bye. Be safe out there.